Hello everyone, this is Joe the Orange, and today I'm going to be playing 3 spear units with Leonidas. And I've got to say, these guys have been a fucking pain in the ass to learn. Like the most pain in the ass of all the fucking units I've played so far. Luckily they're reasonably forgiving when you fuck up. So that's what they got going for them. I mean, I don't even know how many times I have put down my spears and the cunts are facing the wrong direction. Where the fuck are they going? Where the fuck are they going? It doesn't make any sense. I just need to get that off my chest because goddamn, every bloody time they're facing in the wrong direction. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But now I've figured it out, so you don't have to deal with that bullshit of them not knowing which direction to fucking face. Okay? So here's some tips from the get-go. They aren't pikes. You can't just turn them around by changing formation. I don't know why that wouldn't be the other way around. You'd think turning the fuck around with a spear would be a lot easier than a pike. But no, it's not. They sometimes do it. 90% of the time they don't. It's just a lot easier with pikes to turn around. I don't know why. I just don't know why. Because the turn speed on pikes is meant to be lower. I just don't know why. That's just fucking what happens, alright? Now let's get back to the game. You may have noticed I did retreat from those tier 5s. That's because my tier 3 allies were coming up behind me. And I wasn't sure if he was going to go into that combat situation with me or not. I prefer not. That's the weird thing about spears. You don't want people going into combat with you. Beside you is fine. The reason being is, if we both went in to fight that spear unit, he would beat us by himself because he can use his phalanx stance while we couldn't if we both went in. Well, I guess we could, but a friendly fire to fuck out both of us. Which isn't a very good idea. If you look in the back there, you will see barbarians coming around to recharge these spears, so I am going in now, trying to wedge them in and hopefully annihilate them. And it won't matter so much if I can't get my phalanx down or not. And look, this dude's drawing a circle around the enemy like, oh, you're a fucking genius, mate! Holy shit! He's right, guys! We can surround the enemy! Oh my god, we just randomly moved our units there. I had no idea we could surround the enemy! He's a genius! Now you may have noticed I clicked on the enemy and then put my phalanx down, which is a big mistake. As you could have seen, the arrow was wavering all over the fucking place, and that's why you can end up doing a 360 and just getting fucked in the ass if you try to put your phalanx down by clicking attack on the enemy. What you're better off doing, which I corrected in this part of the battle, is click through the enemy while you're in phalanx. That way they'll move in that direction. If you click attack, they will go full retard. They will just go full fucking retard. So that's one of the tips I want to give you. Never attack the enemy with your spears by clicking on them. Instead, put your phalanx down and then click through them. There's a better example coming up anyway later on. Now we are under some catapult fire, which isn't good for us, especially when you're playing Leo. He is a slow cunt. Kind of like Germanicus, but even slower in some ways. He doesn't even have charge. So what I'm doing is I'm not actually going for the ranged units. I'm going for any units that are protecting the ranged units. Those guys I have a chance of catching. The ranged units I have zero chance of catching. I'm starting to take a bit of range fire, so I've raised my shields up just to reduce that damage, although it can make me an easier target for the catapults. So it is a bit of a trade-off. Now at this stage, I don't know why I'm moving my back spears, like my spears in the forest, in that direction. I think it would have been a better idea to send them around to the other side of these slingers, because you always have that chance of catching them in a wedge and just annihilating them, even if they can run quicker than you. But too late for that shit. I'm just running toward, I think I was just running towards the catapults, because catapults are annoying and I want to kill them. I am getting close to engaging these tier 5 spears. Luckily my commander is tier 5, so the balance isn't too bad. If I was a tier 4 commander, I would probably be fucked in this situation. And he just thrusted me right in the fucking face, which hurt a lot. Not a fan of it. And I don't know how to do it properly yet. I haven't learned everything about spears. I'm not sure how you win the thrust, but I know how to win the push. And that's how I'm making up some ground here. And you see his error was, he didn't click through my unit while pushing, which I did. That way my guys are being way more aggressive than his, and I'm slowly starting to win. Also, I popped my hold the line right at the start of the fight. I want my fatigue to be as low as possible while fighting. Now I am friendly firing myself, it's very fucking annoying sometimes. They just don't stay in formation. Like, look how far away I'm getting friendly fired from. Your spears just don't stay in fucking formation, it's annoying as fuck. But let's move on. I've halted these 3 units. Well, 2 units should I say. I got that nice thrust in there. And now I'm going to push through as hard as I possibly can. Because eventually that other sword unit is going to ram me right up the behind. It's not going to be nice for me, so I need to take as many of his troops down as I can. And my shield bash hit for that much damage because I waited for my form to push really deep into his units before using it. Don't use it at the start willy-nilly. As for my other spear unit, I've pretty much won at this stage because I took down my phalanx earlier than him after we've already pushed past each other. And that's pretty much what wins a spear duel, in my opinion. Also a bit of luck, a bit of thrusting, a bit of fucking everything, you know. Once again, this time the guy's trying to push through my spear unit with all 3 units. It's great for me, basically. So while he's all grouped up, I push that hold the line to make sure my fatigue stays about 0. And then I just push as hard as I fucking can. And Iron Wolf just there saved me from getting fucked up by those cav, because if they got around my back, I might have been screwed. At this stage, I have backed off with that spear unit fighting the swords, just to get that fatigue back, and then straight back into them. At tier 9, you do get an ability that increases your phalanx regeneration. I'm wondering if that will make Leo way more powerful or not. On paper, I think it will make Leo very viable at higher tiers, but unfortunately it's at tier 9. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get to. Now that those swords are gone, I want to retreat before engaging those spears because my fatigue is very high at the moment. And I have raised my shield so I don't take too much range damage from those archers at the back. And now it's all about playing the waiting game. Playing the little waiting game to see who can wait longer in the waiting game. And it looks like he lost the waiting game, and that's what I needed. I needed that win. Look at all these spears all grouped up to take on my spears. But the thing is, I know how to spear a spear. I've been in sword fights, I've been in spear fights, I've been in all sorts of fights. And this is what I was saying earlier. You do not want people all blobbed up trying to help you in the fight against spears or with spears. They couldn't really use their phalanx that well because of how grouped up they were. Luckily they had this cav to come and charge me right up the arse. Because if it wasn't for that, I would have taken all the cunts down thanks to them blobbing on top of each other. A better tactic they could have used is what that cav did, and that's charged me right up the arse. But in all honesty, that's all you want to do against spears. They can't really group. Remember that when facing them? They can't really group up and help each other too much. And their stance is on a 10-second cooldown. So if you can keep playing this cat and mouse game until they pop their stance in the wrong direction, you can use that to your advantage, because you can come around the side, get them in the side, and if they raise their spears, they will be on cooldown for 10 seconds. The other thing you can do is just get a tier 8 Vengeance and wreck face. Just wreck him. Just charge him right up the ass. Well, you don't even have to do that. Charge him in the face. Just get them right in the face, pull their face down, and just ream with your tier 8 Vengeance. Now, for any new players heading into this game, I'm just going to say stay at tier 4 at the moment. Don't worry too much about getting those higher tiers, etc. Because at the higher tiers, the balance just turns to shit. You end up facing, every time I heal with tier 5s, I'm facing tier 6s and tier 7s. And the thing is, if you're a tier 4 unit, you can beat tier 5 units. If you're a tier 5 unit versus a tier 6 unit, your chances are pretty slim. There's just this big power fucking leap. Especially since the Roman infantry suddenly becomes heavy and Cav is just fucking everywhere. Range units are the worst at tier 5, mainly because you're going to be shooting high armored targets compared to their tier 5 counterparts. All of a sudden swords take fucking no damage, all of a sudden Cav takes no damage. And if you group Q with your tier 5 mates, you're definitely facing tier 6 and tier 7, and you're just going to have no fun. It's just going to be a shit game, and the game's resetting anyway, so what's the point of having no fun at the moment? Just play those tier 4s, muck around with all the commanders and shit, queue up with your mates at tier 4, you'll get even games. The minute you hit tier 5, you gotta get fucked in the ass. You gotta face tier 6, tier 7s, everything's War Dogs and Cav, or Germanicus. It's just not fun, so don't bother about it. Especially if you're starting late, you're even in a worse position. When open beta comes out, I might try higher tiers, but at the moment I'm just having fun trying all the commanders at tier 5 using tier 4 units. It's a good time compared to doing any tier 5 games where you just get trashed. You can't even hurt some units. So yeah, just stay at tier 4, that's where the fun's at. That's where shit is fucking good. Also, you hardly have to play. Getting tier 5 is pretty easy. Using tier 4 units is pretty damn easy. It's way more balanced, way more fun, way less time consuming. It's just where the good shit is. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and thumbs up and all that shit, motherfucker! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.